I think my sister's boyfriend is lying about his degree. Dad wants to hire him. What should I do? My sister Nina is dating Noah. They've been together 3 years. Noah claims to have a degree in a certain field. I think he's lying because 1. I tried to have a conversation with Noah about his degree in our first meeting, and he said that he didn't want to talk about work. At the time he was working retail, where he had stated these skills were not required. 2. When he told me what university he went to, I commented that I had a friend who went there around the same time, and asked if he knew him, and Noah said that he misspoke and it was a different university, even though he'd named the first uni more than once. 3. He doesn't have any pictures of his graduation, or his time at uni. He openly admits that his diploma is not in his possession. He claims that when he last moved he put all of his uni stuff into the same box, which then got lost in the move, and he has yet to replace it. He lost it 3 years ago, so he hasn't replaced his diploma in 3 years, and laments that he can't prove that he has this degree. I've suggested he contact his uni and ask, or use an online service to access his transcripts, and he responds that it's too much hassle. 4. I googled Noah's name and the university. Noah claims to have worked on a couple of things while he was there and had his dissertation published, and nothing came up in my search. 5. As I said, when he met my sister, he was working retail. Not knocking people who work retail, and I did myself until recently, but I was in a low-demand field and didn't expect to go right into my ideal career path, while Noah is in a high-demand field and claims to have worked at a major company in his chosen field for years before quitting at a time his industry was thriving. In theory, he should have had his pick of jobs, but chose to work retail, which he says he hates. I admit that all of these on their own can look innocent, but when you combine all of this, something feels off. My suspicion is a fake degree. I would stay out of it, except Dad has his own business, and there's a job available that requires someone with a degree similar to Noah's, so Dad has told me that he's going to offer Noah the job. It's Dad's choice, but I'm nervous. I do some work for Dad's company myself, so on a purely selfish level one would like to not be screwed over by Noah, and on a less selfish level this job Dad needs to fill affects everyone working there. So I would also like for the employees and the rest of my family to not be screwed over by Noah potentially being incompetent or shady. Dad views Noah as the son he never had, while Nina and I are not close for a few reasons, but I would much rather address this now, even if I'm wrong, than leave it for years and deal with the amassed fallout. My hesitation is that I don't know how to approach it. Some relationships here are already strained, and I don't want to further strain things, but I don't know how to best go about this. How do I best present my concerns without causing even more problems? Who do I talk to first? ETA. I'm 27 female. Nina is 30 female. Noah is 32 male. Dad's 55. Talk to Dad. Tell him your concerns. Say if the degree doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, but ask Dad to have Noah show him his transcript. The college will send it out. Does the possible pretend degree have a direct connection with the job your dad wants to hire him for? Honestly, just mention to your dad that a few things don't add up and get confirmation of his degree. It really won't be difficult to prove, and if he's running a proper business, he's want to make sure of that too. Your dad should be the one to get the proof of the degree. I'm sure what you've noted in the post almost does sound like a vendetta that you're out to prove he's dodgy. Just remember, if you're wrong and you go in all hung-ho, that will backfire on you. Number 2 is extremely suspicious. That alone says he doesn't have a degree or may not even have went to college. You can just call the school's registrar and ask for a verification. Sometimes there is even a link on the website. Do this quietly on your own, before you make a whole fuss. The problem is, if he is lying about this, what lies is he telling your sister? Who deals with HR stuff in the company? Depending on the area your dad's business is in, he could get in legal trouble for having an unqualified person working there. For example, if he was required to do calculations. I would have a quiet word with your dad, say you suspect he doesn't have a degree, and tell him he will need to produce a copy of the degree for legal reasons. Another way around it would be if he asked him for references for the high-level place he was supposed to have worked. Just tell your dad you don't want to see him getting badly stung and end up affecting your sister's relationship. Transcripts, transcripts, transcripts. Location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag. Pre-employment screens always include a background check. My girlfriend Ribbits. I, 18M. Have dating my girlfriend, 17F, for about a year and a half. Everything has been amazing and I'm so in love with her, but when she got more comfortable around me she began burping, farting, etc. This is all fine and normal, but her burps are strange. She only recently started burping her real burp, which is almost a croak or ribbit on top of a normal burp. Like she screams while she burps. Every time I bring it up she gets weirdly defensive, saying things like, "Why do you care?" or, "Just let me do me." I can hardly stand it and it weirds me out. She does it in public and even when she's around my parents, and it's embarrassing for me. I do not like going out with her out of fear that she will let out a horrendous croak in public around me. What do? I love her, but I feel embarrassed. Does she by chance have any medical conditions? I have very bad acid reflux and around her age started developing weird hiccups that sounded sometimes like burps which were hard to control. Medication has been able to help it significantly. Maybe she should see a doctor. She does it in public and even when she's around my parents, and it's embarrassing for me. My husband and I certainly don't shy away from burping, farting at home amongst ourselves because neither of us care, but to me it's important to be polite in public and in social situations. Doesn't mean you have to hold it in, but at least try to keep it quiet. Cover your mouth. Say excuse me. I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years. First 2 I rarely burped abs, then uncontrollable and regular gremlin growls and barks. Whenever I got stressed or something I'd start burping. Turns out I had a stomach ulcer. I've just finished 2 weeks of meds for it and I've not burped since. Except for normal fizzy drinks once or twice. Perhaps she should check it out? Edit to add. I also had no warning of these burps and sometimes they even startled me with how sudden and aggressive they were. They are not normal burps lol. LMFAO. I am sorry, this is so funny. I can definitely see how it's embarrassing though PPFF. If people ask, tell them you love frog girlfriend and just be confident. If you don't, then just break up. If you want a third option, just burp louder until she sees point. Try mooing. Is it something she can't control? My throat sometimes makes these weird croaking noises. It annoys the heck out of my boyfriend, so we nicknamed it the throat gremlin. It happens when I hold in burps. I think it's caused by acid reflux. If she can control it, that's a little rude of her. I always ask my boyfriend to not burp or fart in public because that's not proper etiquette. Well, this title sure snapped me out of my daze. Update. Changed my name, never been so happy. Last year I posted about wanting to change my name and why. Dad named me after his ex-super abusive childhood, especially my jealous mom stalker found me twice. Etc. Well, I did it. I got my name legally changed. It cost close to $500 all told between court fees, documentation, background checks, etc. But it was the best damn money I ever spent. My work quickly adjusted to my new name, and so has basically everyone I've kept in my life. My friendly ex who I've known for 10 years is still slipping up sometimes, but it's okay. My confidence is at an all-time high, I sleep better, and my life has been just soaring. So I wanted to thank everyone who told me to go for it. Sparkling heart. $500 well spent. I personally would just do something dramatic so that I can get on the witness protection list. I can easily save $500 with that. That sounds pretty cool. Good for you. I can't find original post. Help me. I don't know why, but this reminded me of the song, A Boy Named Sue. I'm happy that you got to change your name. Cheers. Congrats. $500 is such a small amount to achieve confidence and peace of mind. Congratulations. I'm glad you are doing so well and feeling much happier. May you continue to have good, confident days ahead. Dad named me after his ex. Infinite facepalms. $500 well spent. Update. My 23 male girlfriend, 22 female, is currently hospitalized, and I found out she's been cheating on me. Original post link. Hey guys, thanks for the support last time I posted. I went and got her from the hospital today. Thank God she is in good condition and stable and only has some short recovery that is primarily bedrest and medication ahead of her. I've been reading her bedtime stories all night long to get her mind off the headaches, and I have been calling the hospital often to check in. I've done everything in my power to support her during this time where policy dictates that I cannot visit, including dropping off fresh underwear, makeup, phone charger, etc. I wasn't gonna bring it up today. I was just going to play it cool and let her get better. Unfortunately, I overheard her ask her sister if I went on her phone. She asked for it, and I obliged in retrieving it from the living room while she was taking a bath and talking to her sister. I was really curious to see if she'd been talking to the abusive ex while hospitalized while I was sitting there caring for her and losing sleep and calling off work. She sure was. All I saw were clearly pruned conversations along the lines of him checking in saying, "Hey baby," and whatnot, with just her replies of, "Hey." This really got me fucking going, but I maintained my composure and dropped the bomb on her. Her very first reaction was to tell me she wasn't doing this conversation, and to leave. She took that one back and I was able to basically tell her how it's fucked up that she was doing this, and I can't believe her first instinct in the hospital was to reach out to this guy. She's already following him back on Instagram, where her sister blocked him. She was getting really loud and hysterical and defensive, made several totally insane allegations against me. "You talk to significant Othermany girls, etc." Which are just so belligerently false that I asked her to please not bullshit herself with that made-up garbage, and she looked sheepish and had no replies. So obvious deflection and denial. She then told me it wasn't even cheating because it was just the absolute lack of a conversation, that they'd never actually had a real conversation, etc. I was trying to explain to her that we already agreed any contact was cheating, and every time I inquired she lied about it and hid it from me. She was really fucking pissed that I touched her shit, in terms of reading her messages after picking up that call. She apologized over and over but kept yelling, so I just gave her a letter I'd written with what I had to say and went home. We spoke later on the phone, and this basically evolved into how out of all the men she'd ever dated, I made her feel like shit the most. I guess while maneuvering into the topic of her cheating, I had said that, "We have fun together, we have a good time, we laugh, we eat good food, we have good sex, we have good times. I appreciate this all endlessly, but it's honestly the bare minimum in a relationship. This should be why you're with somebody." I then went on to explain how it's all invalidated by infidelity. Didn't think I was wrong there. She basically took this, and the following list of things I have said and done over the last 3 years. 1. She had asked me my type. I told her that in high school I had a thing for girls who were blonde, skinny, and blue-eyed, but that I don't believe in types now because it's stupid to judge someone on your preset specifics before you get to know them as a human, and I just felt that way because that chick was my first real girlfriend and I was younger. 2. While discussing a former mutual friend, I mentioned that I had a crush on her at like 14 because she had big boobs. I didn't mean anything by this, especially not to compare the boobs. I clarified that I meant that I was 14, stupid, a literal child, and was totally bewildered that someone had big boobs at my age. I really don't think that's outlandish. 3. I had a few months ago said something along the lines of, "There will always be a stronger, better-looking guy, more successful guy, richer guy, than me in this world. Just as there will always be a prettier or nicer or XYZ girl than you in the world, but I'm so glad that I love you because you're the one who is perfect for me," etc. I can honestly see how that would have made her feel insecure, but even after clarifying that I just expressed myself like an idiot and meant no harm, she chooses to take it as if I just basically told her that there are better women than her. There sure are. 4. While in line for a play she had bought us tickets to, before we were ever dating, and she in fact had a boyfriend who she left for me, I looked at this girl's butt in line. Seriously ridiculous ass, in leather pants, whatever. I really didn't think I looked as hard as she made me out to, so when she first shared her feelings, she felt invalidated by how I told her that it was just preposterous, and I looked and didn't look at it again. When she explained how it had made her insecure and hurt her feelings, I deeply apologized and reassured her that it was more of a novelty for me than any yearning. I just hadn't seen something so brazen and in front of me outside of a porn clip. It meant nothing to me, but the world to her, but I took it in stride and apologized and understood and never repeated, although we weren't even dating. I'm supposed to be okay with her sleeping with another dude, but God forbid I spared a glance at some girl's ass, which she claims I was full-on absorbed, tilting my head, etc. I'm not that guy. I'm acutely aware of my presence in public, and definitely next to the chick I love. A couple more of these, basically equated to me making her feel disgusting and insecure during our whole relationship at any time. She couldn't stop discussing these. Can't let go. I was bewildered, because men have cheated on her, abused her, drugged her, whatever, consistently in relationships. All of these times I apologized sincerely despite me not seeing it as a big deal. I understand the instances hurt her feelings, so that was enough for me to be apologetic and be more careful in my expressions or statements. I don't get how she doesn't feel the same here, in that this wasn't a big deal to her, but we had actually specifically agreed on how it meant the world to me, and basically all she kept talking about was how I make her feel this way. The dynamic very suddenly shifted to me being the bad guy, and her minimizing the cheating and whatnot. I really was curious about how she would handle this, and I'm taken aback by my experience. I'm out of there now, but figured I owed you guys an update, and I'm curious to how Reddit diagnoses what she's going through and experiencing. She fucked around and found out. She really has nobody to blame but herself. You treated her way better than anyone would expect you to during this situation. I hope you can at least find some solace in that you decided to be the better person even though nobody would have blamed you for acting angry. You seem like a good partner and she didn't deserve you. Don't let her get you down, man. I'm sure you're on to bigger and better things once this is all behind you. She has a shit attitude, ridiculous reasons for validating her behavior, and didn't deserve the courtesy that you actually gave her. Sorry, you deserve better. I hope by out of there you mean you dumped her. She hasn't tried to contact you since then? Dodged a bullet doesn't come to close to explaining how much of a favor she did for you. She's DARV defend, attack, reverse victim order. Nothing productive is going to come out of this. If she wants to make more mistakes then you'll have to let her. You don't need to be around someone like that. She's just trying to make you feel like shit because you're making her feel like shit because you're the only one that really cared, and she's projecting that pain back onto you to rationalize it and make it your fault. In essence, she's a total piece of shit and human garbage. Good luck, op. Find a girl who doesn't get mad at you for glancing at a phenomenal ass, but instead joins you in appreciation. Out of all the men she'd ever dated, I made her feel like shit the most. You can't make someone feel like shit if that's what they already are. Any woman would be grateful to have a boyfriend like you. That woman doesn't deserve someone like you if this is how little she valued her relationship.